What's up, interview hackers? Sam here from byte.com, and in this video I want to share with you really simply 5 ways that you can save a ton of time for under $100. Because this is something where a lot of times when I talk to people about interviewing, and a lot of times when people are saying I'm not preparing for my interviews, the number one reason that I hear from people time and time again is that they don't have enough time to prepare for their interviews, right? They're like, they always have stuff going on. They're just super busy all the time. And so it's just hard to fit it into their schedule. But part of the reason for this, and part of the reason, and one of the ways that I've found to actually save myself a ton of time is just by investing a little bit in these different time-saving strategies. So what I want to do again in this video is I'm going to share with you 5 specific ways that you can save time for under $100. Sound good? Awesome. So the very first way is that you can hire a maid or hire someone to do your laundry for you. And these are huge things because think about how much time, if you don't do it, how much time you're going to spend cleaning your house, right? Or cleaning your apartment. It's just a very time-consuming process. If you're doing your laundry, yes, it has to sit in the laundry machine and it's not like something where you're actively doing it the whole time, but it still takes your attention away from the things that you want to be focusing on. It takes time away from time that you could be spending on your interviews, and this is potentially 2 hours or more per week, especially if you live in a larger house, especially if it's taking you a lot of time to clean that. And the alternative is not really a great option, right? The alternative is to have dirty clothes, to live in a dirty house. I know for me, it's really hard for me to focus when there's clutter everywhere and when I know things are messy. And a lot of times, we use this as an excuse to procrastinate, right? Maybe you see that there's something messy and you're like, oh, well, I can't do any work until I clean up this thing. Well, if you just get that out of the way, if you get someone else to handle it for you, it's going to make it so that you have no excuse but to focus in on your work. And this is something where it absolutely costs less than $100. There are a ton of services. If you're in any sort of big city, there are a ton of laundry services where they're going to charge you per pound of laundry, and it might be $1, it might be $1.25, but it's not that expensive. It'll end up being, $15-20 for a week's worth of laundry at most. And this can be a huge time saver. And same with having someone clean your house or apartment. You don't necessarily have to have them come every week, but it doesn't have to be super expensive, and it can be a huge time saver for you. Now, number 2 is having your groceries delivered. Rather than going grocery shopping, rather than going out, walking through the aisles, picking out everything that you want and doing your grocery shopping that way, consider using Amazon Prime Now or Instacart to have those groceries delivered. This is something that I used to do because I love cooking. And so I love going to the store and I love picking out the different ingredients. I would go to the farmer's market. This would take me 4 hours on a Saturday to do all of my grocery shopping because it was something that I enjoyed. But what I realized was that it was taking so much time for me and that it just wasn't worth the amount of time that I'm spending. I can still get joy from going to the farmer's market and doing these things, but I can do it when I have extra time, when I'm this is something fun that I want to do. And it's no longer nearly as fun if it's a chore, right? So I was always worried that, maybe the vegetables that they would pick out for me wouldn't be as good, or maybe there would be some problem with my order. And honestly, when we used Instacart, there was almost always a problem with our order. I don't think we got more than 1 or 2 orders ever that was 100% correct. But it was 98% of the way there, and that got us so much time saving where I could go to the grocery store around the corner and pick up the few things that they missed or, fill in the gaps, and it still saved me so much time compared to going grocery shopping for myself. So number 1, hire a maid, hire someone to do your laundry. Number 2, get your groceries delivered. Number 3 is to hire a babysitter. This is particularly for all you out there who have kids. This is something that you can do really easily if you're looking for time in your day to do interview prep and you're struggling to find time. Consider what would happen if you had someone look after your kids for just 30 minutes a day. Just an hour a day. It doesn't have to be a lot of time, and it doesn't have to be really expensive because even the best babysitters in the world are going to charge $20, $30 an hour, right? It's not like they're charging hundreds of dollars an hour to take care of your kids. And so if you hire the neighborhood or the neighbor kid who's 15 and you hire them for $15 an hour, that means that you can have someone babysit your kids for an entire week and it costs you less than $100, right? You have them come for an hour a day after school. That gives you an hour of time that you can sit down and be studying for your interviews and be preparing and realize, again, we're talking about these as things that are going to cost you a little bit of money, But if you can sit down and really commit to doing those interviews, think about that raise that you can get. Think about that promotion that you can get by actually mastering this skill. You know, you might spend 3 months preparing for your interviews, and so you're spending $100 a week to save that time so you can prepare for your interviews, but then you're going to get a $10,000 raise. That means that, you know, over those 3 months or 12 weeks, you're basically spending $1,200. And you're potentially making back like 10 times that amount by actually going and preparing for your interviews. So now that was 3 things that we've talked about so far. Number 4 is something that I highly recommend, is either doing meal prep or doing a meal delivery service of some sort. So there are a lot of different options out there for stuff like this. You know, particularly I'm in New York City, so there are even more options, but no matter where you are, you just need to figure out like what options are available to you. So a couple of things that we've done before is I've done a lot of meal prep, and I highly recommend, a friend of mine has a website called Workweek Lunch, which is workweeklunch.com, and she actually gives you a meal plan every week that's specifically designed around doing meal prep. So you can go through, you can create the recipes, and then, you know, you batch out 2 hours, 3 hours on a Saturday or Sunday, and then you have your food for the whole week, so you don't even need to think about it. I've also been doing Freshly, which is a meal delivery service, and you know, I pick out whatever meals that I want, they deliver them, and then I have lunch for me every day. So like after I get off this live, I'm gonna go stick my Freshly in the microwave from, you know, for today, and I'm gonna just have that ready to go, and I didn't need to think about it at all. And it's a little more expensive, but it's a lot healthier than ordering from a restaurant, and it's a lot cheaper than ordering from a restaurant. So think about, is there a way that you can save time on food preparation? Do you like frozen meals? Like, that's fine. You can just do something like that. It's going to be, again, a little bit more expensive, but as long as you can find an option that's reasonably healthy, because I would discourage you from saying, let me just order McDonald's every day, because that's not going to be a healthy option, even though it's fairly cheap. But find that balance of health and convenience so that you can save a ton of time on food preparation. And this also, you know, we were talking about groceries a second ago. This eliminates the need to do that grocery shopping. So, you know, unless you're doing the meal prep, in which case you can save time on the grocery shopping, doing the Instacart, doing everything else. So that's number 4. And then number 5 is think about the time that you're spending commuting from place to place, that you're spending getting around, and think about how you could capture that time back. So maybe, you know, a lot of people obviously drive when they commute to work. But what if you were to take public transportation? What if you were to take an Uber? What this allows you to do is it allows you to take that time and actually turn it into productive time. Because as long as you're driving, yes, you can listen to an audiobook, yes, you can listen to a podcast, but beyond that, you're fairly limited in what you're actually able to do to use that time productively. Whereas if you get an Uber, yes, it costs you a bit of money, but you can sit in the back and you can do work. If you take the train, maybe it takes a little bit longer for you to get to work, but it's purely productive time versus time that you would be spending, behind the wheel of the car, not actually being able to do anything. And so these are 5 different ways that you can spend a little bit of money. Again, we're not talking about spending thousands of dollars, but we're talking about spending a little bit of money so that you can save time to put towards your interview prep, to put towards bettering yourself so that you can get that job, so that you can get that raise, and so that you can ultimately level up your career and end up where you want to be. So hopefully these are some helpful tips for you. Again, if you enjoyed this video, make sure that you go over to bytebybyte.com/50questions and check out our free 50 coding interview questions guide, where I'm going to give you 50 of the most common coding interview questions that you might see when you're going into your interviews. And with that, I'm going to wrap up here. I look forward to seeing you guys all in the next video.